In the far western reaches of Nepal, the village of Darchula sits trapped beneath the towering Himalayas. Those massive peaks are beautiful, but they form a physical wall, isolating the community. The villagers maintain a fragile grip on this landscape. You can see it in these green, terraced fields carved into the mountainside. This land represents the absolute limit of human control before the terrain drops into unpredictable valleys. Life here usually revolves around tight-knit traditions and the familiar beat of the madal drum. But for an elder named Berke, the rhythm of village life has stopped. His grandson, Kaji, left for the lower market 3 days ago and has not returned. As the sun dips behind the ridges and the sky turns purple, the environment immediately becomes hostile. The locals know exactly what those shadows mean. When light fades, everyone retreats behind heavy doors. In Darchula, sunset marks a physical boundary. Beyond it, human rules expire, and the ancient, brutal laws of the mountain take over. Governing those ancient laws is Matuli, the hunter god of the Kanchanala trail. According to local folklore, Matuli is a shape-shifting predator that actively targets lone travelers in the dark. The descriptions passed down through generations are highly specific. The jaws of a wolf, the massive bulk of a bull, and a bear's heavy, hooked claws. It is a biological nightmare, stitched together from the traits of every real-world predator hunting in the region. But the stories also come with explicit conditions. Matuli targets those who show disrespect to the mountain by wandering alone, ignoring the boundaries of the night. These stories turn the abstract dangers of the mountain into a tangible, terrifying figure. It is an effective way to ensure the villagers never wander into the valleys after the light is gone. Knowing his grandson is out there, Berke ignores the curfew. He arms himself with 2 simple items, a heavy iron kukuri blade and a small cotton wick lamp. This is a fragile defense against a vast, dark wilderness. He descends the steep, rocky path toward the Chitrai Bridge. Suddenly, the air goes icy cold. A heavy smell of rotting meat fills the valley, followed by a deep, vibrating growl echoing off the rocks. Recognizing the immediate threat, Berke instantly blows out his lamp. Through the dark sal forest, the massive silhouette of Matuli steps out into the moonlight. Heavy bear claws scrape the stone path, and a wolf-like jaw snaps at the empty air. Berke is physically outmatched. If he tries to run, or if he swings his blade at a creature this size, he will die. His survival entirely depends on a highly specific psychological and acoustic defense. Instead of lunging at the beast, Berke draws his weapon and strikes the flat of the iron blade violently against a hard rock. That sharp, metallic clang triggers a concept known as acoustic disruption. High-frequency, unnatural sounds do not exist in the mountain wilderness. For a predator relying on familiar rustling leaves and breaking twigs, the harsh ring of metal on stone creates instant sensory confusion. While the animal is disoriented, Berke deploys a second layer of defense. He begins to chant an ancient tantric mantra, his voice projecting a loud, steady rhythm into the dark. This rhythmic chanting serves a critical biological function for Berke. Deep fear triggers the panic flight response, an adrenaline surge that forces a person to run. Running signals a predator to chase. The strict meter of the mantra anchors his heart rate, forcing him to stand completely still. Faced with this loud metallic noise and a human refusing to yield his ground, Matuli hesitates. The creature lets out a massive roar, but it doesn't attack. Berke has stopped acting like prey, breaking the predator's hunting script. Berke neutralized the threat through a specific sequence of actions, managing the animal's instincts while simultaneously suppressing his own urge to flee. In that moment of hesitation, a voice calls out from behind the bridge. It's Kaji. He had been hiding perfectly still behind a boulder. Berke grabs his grandson, and without breaking the steady rhythm of the mantra, they retreat toward the village. They don't have to walk in the dark for long. At the edge of the path, the village elders arrive with torches, forming a wall of fire and numbers. Human society has arrived to reclaim its side of the boundary. Down below in the Kanchanala Valley, the deep, restless growls continue to echo. the massive shape fades back into the trees, completely unharmed. Burke and Kaji survived because Burke understood the rules of the encounter. He knew exactly when to hold his ground with his mantra and when to yield the territory back to the darkness. The legend of Matuli functions as a repository for practical survival knowledge, passed down through generations to ensure the next one stays out of the dark. The core lesson inside those stories relies on simple biology. Once the sun drops below the peaks, humans lose their status as the apex predator of the Himalayas. We become slow, we become blind, and entirely vulnerable. Fearing the dark in these mountains is an incredibly rational response, and respecting the boundaries of the night is the highest form of mountain intelligence.